The beginning. Today I will be reading 3 of my favorite children's books from when I was a child. And 2 of these books, no, one of them, is the exact copy that I had when I was a child, the one in the middle. So the first one is Harry the Dirty Dog. The second one is A Little Old Man. That's one that I just reread that inspired me to even do this. And the third one is One Morning in Maine by Robert McCloskey, my favorite. He wrote Make Way for the Ducklings, if you ever have heard of it. So we're going to start with Harry. Harry the Dirty Dog by Jean Zion. Pictures by Margaret Bloy Graham. This was always a favorite. So one of the best things about this book is the illustrations. And it starts with it's got a picture with Harry. He is a dog, kind of like my dog. And he has a scrub brush in his mouth. And he's getting the brush out of the tub because I think he might be gonna steal it. There's Harry. And this is the cover page, if you've ever known that is called the cover page. I think the title page. And there's Harry, and he's stealing that scrub brush right away from the bath. Harry was a white dog with black spots who liked everything except getting in a bath. So one day, when he heard the water running in the tub, he took the scrubbing brush, he took the scrubbing brush and he buried it in the backyard. Then he ran away from home. I'm just showing you the pictures. All right. He played where they were fixing the street and got very dirty. I think he got covered in soot. And it might be coal soot. He played at the railroad and got even dirtier. He played tag with other dogs and became dirtier still. He slid down a coal chute and got dirtiest of all. In fact, he changed from a white dog with black spots to a black dog with white spots. That's so funny. Although there were many other things to do, Harry began to wonder if his family thought that they had really run away. If he had really run away. He felt tired and hungry too. So, without stopping on the way, he ran back home. When Harry got to his house, he crawled through the fence and looking at the back door one of the family looked out and said, "There's a strange dog in the backyard. By the way, has anyone seen Harry?" When Harry heard this, he tried very hard to show them he was Harry. He started to do all of his old clever tricks. He flip flopped and he flop flipped and he rolled over and played dead. Kitty, you're in the frame. He danced and he sang. He did these tricks over and over again, but everyone shook his head and said, "Oh no, it couldn't be Harry." Harry gave up and walked slowly towards the gate, but suddenly he stopped. He ran to the corner and started to dig furiously, so he jumped away from the hole, barking short, happy barks. He found the scrubbing brush and carried it with his mouth and ran into the house. Up the stairs he dashed, with the family following close behind. He jumped into the bathtub and sat up begging, with the scrubbing brush in his mouth, a trick he certainly never had done before. "This little doggy wants a bath," cried the little girl, and her father said, "Why don't you and your brother give him one?" Harry's bath was the soapiest one he'd ever had. It worked like a magic. And soon as the children started to scrub, they began shouting, "Mommy, Daddy, look, look, come, quick, it's Harry, it's Harry, it's Harry," they cried. Harry wagged his tail and was very, very happy. His family combed and brushed him lovingly, and he became once again a white dog with black spots. It was wonderful to be home. After dinner, Harry fell asleep in his favorite place, happily dreaming of how much fun it had been to get dirty. He slept so soundly. He didn't feel like the scrubbing brush he'd hidden. He didn't even feel the scrubbing brush he'd hidden under his pillow. So that is the first book that we are going to read today. The second book, A Little Old Man, by Nathaniel Norton, and pictures by Will Huntington, who did a wonderful job. This book is very old. This is a book that is at least 40 years old because I'm 43, and it was my book when I was a little girl, A Little Old Man. And I wanted to mention I wrote my name on the inside right there. This was one of my favorite books. My favorite book was One Morning in Maine, which I've decided we are not reading today just because of time. I remembered just now that it's too long a book. But I loved this book growing up. So look up One Morning in Maine. But our last book today that we will read is A Little Old Man. This is a beautiful book for a cat. For a cat. Are you mad at me? That cat. All right. Once there was a little old man who lived in a little house on a little island in the middle of a great big ocean. And you can see where I've colored this book with crayons. He lived all by himself. He was a smiling little old man with no hair at all on the top of his head, but he did have a nice white beard. Every day after he had washed himself and dressed himself, he cooked his own breakfast. He thought it would be fun if he had someone to eat with. He was a very busy little old man. After breakfast, he swept his little house inside, and then he worked outdoors in his garden. Sometimes he worked on the roof of his little house, hammering his house, you see in the picture. Sometimes he went fishing in his rowboat and caught fish to fry in his frying pan. I wonder if he's lonely. He lives by himself on an island. But the little old man had no one to talk to, and sometimes he was sad. He thought he would be very happy if he had a cat. At night, he dreamed of cats, big cats and little cats, black cats and gray cats, and sometimes little kittens. One morning, when the little old man woke up, he heard rain splashing on his roof. Rains a lot in the ocean. And when he went outdoors, the wind was blowing and the ocean waves were getting bigger and bigger. There he is holding on to a tree in that iconic picture. Suddenly, a huge wave came and carried the little old man's house right out into the ocean. But he wasn't in that house right then. He had hung onto a tree. There the waves tossed it and wind blew it until it lifted the little old man could no longer see his little house. I don't know if I read that right, but I think I did. It doesn't make sense. Or could he? There was something far out in the ocean. Could it be his house? No, it was a boat. The wind and the waves pushed the boat right up onto the island where his little house used to be. When the rain stopped raining and the wind stopped blowing, the little old man went to see what the boat was like. He walked all around the outside. It was a big boat, bigger than the little old man's house, and on the deck was a little boat, smaller than the little deck of the little man's rowboat. And the little old man went inside. He found a bedroom with bunks and at the side, and a kitchen as neat as could be. Then the little old man looked all around and he said, "Oh my, what a wonderful house this would be. I would I will live in it until the people who own it come back for it." And then the little old man heard a sound. Poop! Out from under the stove came a cat. Poop, 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 poop. Out from under the stove came 1, 2, 3, 4 kittens. The little old man was as happy as a little old man can be. And so he and the cat and the 4 kittens lived together on the boat They swept it on the inside and painted it on the outside, and they went fishing in the little boat and caught fish to fry in the frying pan. No one ever came for the boat, and the little old man was never sad or lonely again. Thank you for attending my reading of children's books. Look out for One Day in Maine if you ever want to read it. Have a good day. Okay. Those are just some of the books I read as a child. I read a lot. I love you all. Okay, bye.